Hello, everyone. This is the Magnificent Bastard, and this is a view from the left. Uh, I only do my political videos rarely, and typically because I see some incredibly stupid things, especially when it comes down to dealing with the media and the left. I used to be a big admirer of Jake and Anna at TYT, and to say I'm disappointed in what they become is an understatement. Uh, they were corrupted by polymarket money. They are worthless to the left. In fact, worse than worthless, they're a detriment to the left. Stooping for Trump and the right is a betrayal of the highest degree. And now they've sunk their own ship. Uh, they have basically said goodbye to the one voice that really held them together, as far as I'm concerned, and that's Francesca Fiorentini. Um, get it, stop listening to TYT if you're a leftist. You gotta stop. They're ridiculous. This thing about trying to appeal to the right, and try and find common ground. You know, the fact is, when you try and make friends with scorpions, all you get is stung. And you know, Jake Huger doesn't understand that. Like I said, Francesco Fiorentini was the only redeeming voice he left. I mean, John Idarola's channel uh, did its best with Francesca on there. She's Dragon Mama. I mean, what's Dragon Squad without Dragon Mama? And James is it's disappointing with him that he didn't put up a fight. I know he's married and has children, and Jake's probably a terrible boss. I mean, that's what he comes across as. Um, and he's worried about his family. Okay, I get that, but his statement is weak sauce. Um, they were friends, and he didn't speak up for her. They're very disappointed in you, John. I think you're an okay guy, but that was weak. Um, Francesca, when we talked, um, this is what I meant. Jake and I know what I meant when I say I hope they don't pay the MSNBC uh, doesn't pay you enough money to corrupt you. Look what money's done to Jake and I. They took that money and all they've done is preach right wing talking points. You know, you're a personal hero of mine, Francesca. So whatever you choose to do, if you move, if it's a tail and it's your thing now, I've already subscribed to it. Of course, I maintain my subscription to the Bishop Relation Group. You're a personal hero of mine. Why wouldn't I support your career? You are a strong leftist voice in the media, Francesca. It's sad. It's sad for them that they let you go. Jake's ego is just too. Jake and I's ego is just too big to fit you into their network anymore. So, um, I'm going to back your career. It's not a problem, Francesca. So if you hear this, I'm a big fan. Um, You know, that's pretty much all I could say. I don't understand. Um, Jenks made that video, and he there were a couple things he kind of left out. Like, for instance, you didn't call him a bitch. You said you look like a bitch. Okay, and that's true. He does when he goes on Dr. Phil and basically, agrees with Dr. Phil on the right wing talking points. He showed the thing about from you on the Pierce Morgan show where you said yes, you can, it shows you saying yes to uh, to men, just becoming trans athletes. Um, and you were saying yes. In all honesty, you are right. Um, if the league allows it and they want to do, and they, especially since he didn't put out there that you had said earlier in that conversation, that as long as we're actually transitioning, okay, he didn't put that in because that's not what Jake does anymore. He is right wing media, picking and choosing his spots to to you know, lead a false narrative. So, lefties, you need to stop listening to TYT like you don't listen to CNN, MSNBC, and especially Fox News. They're no better anymore. They're no better than that. But with regards to the trans issue, if the league allows it, and they want to do it, it doesn't matter if they're transitioning or not. If they allow it, they allow it. I mean, I look at it this way: if if LeBron James goes into the women's National Basketball Association, it's going to put butts in the seats and actually make it so the women get paid more. So I don't get it. I just don't get it, TYT anymore. And believe me, I stopped my subscription long ago. They are not worth giving anything to. Um, it started, as far as I know, it started when with Anna's thing about she didn't want to be called a birthing person. I don't understand why she just all of a sudden turned on the trans community. And then Jake pitched in. They started talking about the right wing talking point about women's trans women in sports, and then she went off on the homeless. She's just a Republican. She might as well wear a MAGA hat. She's just ridiculous now. The only thing even remotely decent about TYT is their coverage of what was their coverage of Gaza, and and yet they ruined that by actually having a pro genocide Zionist like Ben Glebe on there, giving him time. It doesn't work. You can't do anything for that. If you allow that, you're giving a platform to a man that says, "Hey, genocide is okay for one at least one reason. It's never okay to commit genocide. Never, ever, ever. So even then, giving him that platform, so it just completely wipes out their coverage of the ongoing genocide in Gaza, because they give a pro-genocide Zionist like Ben Glebe a platform to speak out. So they've ruined themselves where they might have once actually been a home of progressives. They're not anymore. They've chased away every just about every progressive they've had. Every one of them. You know, I'm thankful that Francesca held her ground, stuck to her ethics and morals, and said, "Screw you! I want nothing to do with this company." Let Jake have his day where he said he fired you instead of you quitting. Um, that's his loss. Believe me when I say that he will regret that mistake. And you're going to move on to bigger and better things, Francesca. I know you will, and you have my backing every step of the way. You know you do. Anyway, I'm out when it comes down to this. AOC 2028.